Well, the New Testament tells us that we're supposed to consider the patience of Job and the things that he suffered. And that's what we're going to do on Sunday. We're going to consider the endurance, is the word that is used, because he had a lot to endure and he didn't have any time to get ready for it. All of a sudden, he was in the midst of the dismantling of his life, and then not long after, the loss of his health and the disruption of his marriage. And the striking thing about the story is there was more to the story that Job never knew about, that we're given an insight into something that most of us live our daily life and never think of, that we're the scene of an invisible war, that there are spiritual forces that work, and we often go through life oblivious to them. But here's a good man, a godly man, a righteous man, and he's suffering. His friends later on will have all kinds of reasons. You're suffering because of what you're doing. You've sinned. You're hiding stuff. And we know from the very first verse a totally different story. It's because he's a righteous man that he's suffering. So there's a lot to learn from this story, puzzling as it is. Some things that we are really ask questions about, really don't know. There is a Satan. He does work, but he's under the limits that are imposed by God. How do we put all that together? I don't know that we ever will put all of it together, but we need to hear that when the storm hits, it's not because, necessarily, it's not because God's angry at us. It may be, in fact, because he's delighted with us. And Satan's not happy when God delights in us. So I'm sure you'll have questions, and I'm sure you'll have a stimulating conversation. But out of it all, the great lesson that Job learns at the end of the book is that I don't know why, but I do know who. And that's what I'm going to live on the basis of. So have fun with Job as Koinonia begins to draw to an end.